Welcome back to the Delusionals podcast, the home of deluded football takes. How you doing, Josh?
Not bad. Well, as good as I can do after that horrendous result in the week. Thursday night, pain. Thursday night. Oh, wait, Tuesday night pain. Wednesday night pain. I've cast it out of my mind already.
I can't remember. But I think the main things that we're going to try and talk about today are, we're going to go over a recap over the last week. We're going to specifically also touch on this crazy relegation battle that's going on, and have a look at some of the upcoming fixtures for this weekend as well. Obviously, we had the international break, which when were you on holiday? We haven't done a podcast since you went to Florida, have we?
We got back and we had the international break, didn't we? Or have we done one? I can't remember. We got back and it was pretty much straight into the middle of an international break.
Yeah, I don't think we did it.
You want to do one?
We got that crap out of the way. No one cares about that. On
you
to
had a guy
recaps
from
of the
Villa playing.
games.
You're talking about Ollie Watkins is playing. I thought you'd be all over that.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, they didn't just play. 2 Villa players scored, mate.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We don't care about that crap.
And Mings. No, well, I mean, I care-ish.
It's the competition. It's the friendlies I don't give a shit about. But once you get to the competition football, I pay a bit more attention.
I mean, I care after the fact, right? Because I'm only caring about the fact that they've scored. I'm not going to watch a game
it's
just
a 0-0.
You're
like, oh, fucking 3 lines.
It doesn't quite work, does it? So I mean, some interesting fixtures actually over the weekend.
Crazy results weekend as well across the board. I mean, I'm going to start with Arsenal Palace so I can get that pain out of the way early. I mean, they outpressed us, they outworked us, they just beat us in every facet of the game.
What's going on? Because you guys are on such a good run of form.
It's a tough game for us. I mean, we've gone away to Selhurst Park midweek. It's always a tough place to go. We went there without our 2 fullbacks, and their strength is their wing play. We've now lost Kieran Tierney for the rest of the season. He's having knee surgery after the international break. So I fucking hate the international friendly break. But yeah, we lost him. We didn't have Tomiyasu playing, so we had Nuno Tavares at left back. We had Cedric playing right back, and they both just got twisted inside and out for 90 minutes, really. 2-0. Odegaard, a bit of Odegaard stupidity, giving away a penalty when it was not needed. But to be honest, the game looked pretty dead at that point anyway, so I don't think it had a massive outcome on the game.
What can you do? What can you do that against us? You have to do it was unreal. But yeah, no, it was a weird one. That was a very surprising result. I didn't see that coming at all. I don't know if Arsenal. I don't know what the talk was with the Arsenal fans, whether they actually saw that coming or.
Well, as you said before, we got to it like we was on a good run of form, so it is a surprising one, and it's one. I mean, you always want to beat your London rivals, and it's such a huge one for the table, for the swing of the table. It actually puts Spurs ahead of us on goal difference. We're equal on points, but we've got a game in hand on them. But that fourth spot is really flip flopping.
It's a bit less surprising though when you actually look at Palace where they are. They're a bit of a dark horse this season. They're ninth. Yeah. They haven't lost in their last 5 now.
I don't remember the stat exactly. I don't remember the stat exactly, but a friend of mine who's a Palace fan, this is probably about 7 or 8 games ago now, but he sent me a stat that was they've conceded something like 90% of their goals all season in the last 5 minutes of both halves. If they can play a full 45, play a full 90, they suddenly get a lot more wins and draws notched up on those losses. And
maybe that's just a fitness thing, and that's why
maybe it's a fitness thing. Yeah,
maybe they're getting better and they're getting fitter.
He's a particular critic of Palace and athletes, and he went on a nice rant saying how mentally weak they are.
Oh, we'll have to get him on at some point.
That'd be interesting. Definitely get him on. But surprising result, but perhaps not the most surprising of the weekend. And I was going to come onto this game after, but you've led me into it very nicely. Brentford 4, Chelsea 1.
Yeah. What? Right. The Premier League's always had this thing, right, where anyone can beat anyone. That's what they always say, kind of thing. And I think it's the same. I mean, I don't think it's quite as true as in the Championship. That is insane, that league. It's very rare you'll see one of the top 4 get beaten at home quite so heavily by a team that shouldn't really be anywhere near them.
They're fighting the scraps at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Brentford haven't Brentford struggled for goals a little bit in the last few games. I mean, and they conceded a hell of a lot as well.
I mean, they didn't even necessarily outplay Chelsea from like a statistical standpoint either. I mean, they had less shots, had 29% possession. It was just It was just a clinical counter-attacking masterclass. Any chance they had, they were clinical.
Do you think this is the? Do you think this is? Is it too much to say this is the start of a bit of a downhill trend for Chelsea? Obviously, they just lost to Madrid as well. Was it 3-1? I think
3-1. Yeah, and they looked on ropes at times. I mean, it's a really tough one. Like the third sort of spot in the league is still up for grabs as well. That third and fourth spot aren't 100%.
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff.
All the stuff. A lot going on outside of the football as well.
I was going to say,
being sold and consortiums trying to buy them and all sorts. So they got a lot going on. But yeah, I don't know. Just a completely baffling result. Chelsea had been looking pretty decent, and just out of nowhere, Burnley just took it to him. Great to see.
Brentford.
Brentford took it to him. Well, great to see Christian Eriksen back on the.
I was about to say that's quite one of the nice things about it is that the Christian Eriksen story is lovely. Like they've also been saying that he's been fantastic for them. I mean, I haven't watched enough of Brentford to know. But apparently he's been unbelievable.
The only reason he's not starting for Inter Milan is because they're not allowed to play players who have heart problems. It's against the rules of Serie A.
Yeah, which is a bit mental, right? Like, what's that? What's that about? Why have they? Yeah, I find that a bit strange.
I've never looked into it, so I don't know. There must be some sort of reasoning for it. I've never looked into the reasoning for it, but I mean, I guess it means they're less liable to being sued. That's probably
maybe, yeah, probably. I suppose the other one probably just more like kind of important for the top four is Spurs Newcastle. I didn't expect Spurs to actually batter Newcastle quite as much as they did.
I totally agree.
I think did Newcastle take an early lead? If I'm right.
Newcastle went 1-0 up in the 39th, and then Spurs just piled it on 43, 48, 54.
Wow.
Completely battered them. And Newcastle have been in some form, and Spurs haven't really been. So it's it kind of flipped on its head. I think Newcastle had played them a bit closer.
You say Spurs haven't been. They've won their last 3 now. They're hitting form just in time to play us on the weekend as well. But yeah, they're kind of started to hit a bit of form. So it's that I'm just looking at the table now. That loss for you guys is massively frustrating, isn't it? Because you are very cemented in that top 4. It's still massive, in your hands.
It's also massive with Chelsea dropping points as well, because that we'd have been 57. We'd have been 2 points off of them with the same amount of games played.
Yeah. But isn't the London derby coming up soon?
Yeah, they've rescheduled it for the 12th of May, which puts it as a very late game in the season.
Yeah, that could be absolutely massive.
It's the 12th of May, and then we have 2 games after that.
Is it at Arsenal or is it at
Spurs?
Oh.
It's gonna be a huge game.
Mate, I don't. Has there been a bigger London derby? Like in terms
we
of
won the league there.
In the league.
We've won the league there twice.
Yeah, but as in stakes of that game for both teams. So like kind of like when you have a relegation 6-pointer.
I know what you mean. Yeah. None that spring to mind in recent history, but every time we go there, it's like a cup final. Even if we're 15 positions apart in the league, it will feel like a cup final. So, yeah, huge one. And fuck you, Premier League, for organising it so late. It's like game week 12, and we're playing it in game week 36.
Mate, we've got Burnley to play, which was meant to be.
You played them twice in like 3 games.
Yeah. We've got it's ridiculous. We've got I think it's 5 games in the last 14. We've got like 5 games in 14 days or something mental.
Yeah, it's madness.
It's just a bit nuts. So I suppose kind of the other fixtures. I mean, probably focus briefly on Villa Wolves.
We're going to pass you over to that. Pass over to you. That's still on the bounce now. You've lost, right?
3.
3 on the bounce now.
I'm pretty sure it's 3. Yeah, it's 3 on the bounce now. Yeah, a bit of a downturn in form. I mean, the thing is, right? I mean, we're not at risk of relegation, really. Like we shouldn't be. There's a big kind of flux in the team. There's a big kind of like crossroads now. The summer's going to be huge. They keep on talking about the summer. Gerrard wants to see all the players. So, you know, he gave Sanson a run out. Bailey was playing in like number 10. He's
almost evaluating his squad for next year at this point.
Yeah, he's basically looking at it and going, what works, what doesn't, show me what you got, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit frustrating because we were kind of like still in touch and distance at one point with that kind of like European, maybe like 7th or 6th. Like we were still in touch and distance. I don't think anyone expected it. But we'd love a top half finish, like, you know, 9th or 10th. I think I predicted at the start of the season about 12th to 14th, I think I said.
Yeah, and you're right in that range right now.
So yeah, so we're kind of like sitting there. I think there's going to be big changes in the summer. Didn't help that Digne had just come back from injury and then decides to go off after like 14 minutes with diarrhea.
Oh my goodness!
So
that shit in your pants before the game.
You think you know his shit.
Running around.
Yeah, it was freaking ridiculous. Ashley Young comes on, ends up scoring an own goal. You know, it's just kind of like catastrophic, really. Calamity of errors.
And we said it before, you're not paying Ashley Young for his defensive qualities right now. You're paying him to get down the wing and deliver some good crosses. You're not paying him to be a defensive left back.
We're paying him for his experience. And to be fair, he's actually performed probably the best this season when he's played kind of more centrally. And he's been kind of in that number 10 kind of role, maybe a little bit off the shoulder of the defenders. He's just had that kind of nous to be able to, that little bit of movement or that kind of just threading that pass. He's been very, very good at that. Obviously, we've got Coutinho. Coutinho's kind of, I suppose he seems to go off the boil away from home at the moment. But, you know, if there's players around him that aren't really doing anything. We played John McGinn as a number 6. Whoever decided to do that is just a complete, I mean, obviously it was Gerrard, but it's a complete moron. Like, the guy is not a number 6. He struggles defensively. So,
do you think Coutinho hangs around next year, or is that a wage bill that might be too much to tackle?
I think he does. I think he's going to stay. I think
I'd love to see it.
I think he's already come out saying he's more than happy to take a massive pay cut. I don't think, you know, the kind of money we're talking about, right? I think he's realised money is everything.
400k a week. He doesn't need to have 400k a week anymore.
He doesn't need that. I think he's happy. You know, be happy with like 120, 140 a week, whatever.
It's very doable with how much money you got.
It's the way we talk about it. It's the way we talk about it. It's like, just it's mental. But yeah, you know, he's fantastic. I think it's 34 million quoted to make it permanent. I think we've got first refusal. If we don't get him, I'm pretty sure I heard you guys in Newcastle are sniffing as well. So yeah, I mean, if Gerrard wants him, if the owners are happy to back him, then I'll go for it. But when you've got things like that, the rumours of Calvin Phillips and all these kind of things adding up, I'm like, well, that's 100 million right there. Are we really going to spend more than 100 million in one transfer window? So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So I guess the crux of that is Villa is shit right now.
I mean, well, it doesn't.
Next year already.
It doesn't get easy, does it? We've got Spurs this weekend, then we've got Liverpool.
We've got the double Burnley, which you need 6 points from. You'd love to take 6 points out of the double Burnley games.
It all depends.
Burnley are fighting for something. It's really tough to motivate a squad when they kind of know you're looking at next year and you're not really playing.
It all depends. It all depends on where Burnley are. Like, so if they're, I mean, because we've got Spurs this weekend, which we're definitely going to lose because we always lose to Spurs. We've then got, I can't even see it. I'm trying to find. I think we've got Norwich or something like that.
Yep.
And then it's Burnley. So it's not till the 7th of May. So it's like 2 or 3 games from now. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be fighting for their lives, aren't they? So yeah, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it leads us nicely onto Burnley and the relegation battle. I mean, Burnley had City at the weekend, 2-0 City. Impossible ask for me.
Yeah, no,
not even one to touch on. But Everton, West Ham. I mean, I predicted West Ham to obviously beat Everton before that game. It doesn't feel like that hard of a decision to make. But
they made it a bit harder.
They made it really hard for West Ham.
10 man as well.
Yeah, ended up going down to 10 men and sort of holding out for just a 2-1 loss. But it's no good right now. They need any point they can get, and it's just no good right now. And then the game, one of the best games that I've seen in the last few weeks was yesterday. Was Burnley Everton, and Everton being 2-0 up or what was it, 2-1 up? They went 1-0 down and then 2-1 up.
Well, there were 2 penalties up, right? So it's kind of it's not
they're not creating, but they're
striking. Yeah, they managed to get those 2 penalties. I mean, the thing that nails the coffin for me for Everton is that Burnley don't score goals. Burnley haven't been able to score goals all season. To concede 3 against Burnley means you've got serious issues.
Yeah. So obviously they were losing one of their starting centre backs with the red card from last week, but they're just excuses that don't help them right now. It just doesn't.
No, I mean Burnley can't score against an open goal. So for Everton to concede 3 is pretty nuts. To be fair, their 3 goals were pretty good actually.
Yeah,
I was like, especially like Rodriguez's goal was a lovely move. But yeah, Everton seriously worried.
They're in huge trouble. They're in huge trouble.
They've got some huge games. They've got Watford the end of the season as well, close to the end. Can't remember what their last game of the season is. Arsenal.
I was going to look at the Burnley and Everton kind of schedule side by side. I mean, if we look at game by game, Burnley play Norwich next, Everton play Man United. Then after that, Burnley play West Ham, Everton play Leicester. After that, Burnley play Southampton.
Well, let's break this down. Liverpool. Hang on, let's break this down.
We'll go points. We'll go by points. All right,
no. So I'm writing this down. So we've got Everton.
Burnley play Norwich. That's their next game. Burnley play Norwich.
Who wins that?
Burnley. I've got to say Burnley there.
Okay, I'm going to write Burnley. I'm going to do 2 columns.
Yep.
I got Everton. So
we'll total up the wins and then we'll work out the points after.
No. So just go. Yeah, Burnley. So win. Yeah.
Yeah, Burnley win over Norwich, and then do you want me to just do all Burnley now, and then we'll do Everton after?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then Burnley play West Ham. I mean, best case there's probably a draw. It's probably a West Ham win for me.
Is it away?
It's away as well.
Yeah, no, 0.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And then you've got Burnley at home to Southampton. I can see them getting a result there when they're scrapping. It's going to be a tough game, but I can see them getting. Yeah, I'll give them a draw there.
1. Yeah.
And then Burnley Wolves. Tough game. No. It's at Burnley. Probably Wolves take it though.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
And then it's Burnley Watford. I'll take Burnley.
Oh, okay. I'll give you the 3. Yep.
And then Burnley Villa. Again, to be honest, I think you might split those games. I think you play them twice in 3 games. I think they lose 1 and I think they win 1. I think they might win at home and they will probably lose away.
I think they draw at home.
They draw at home.
I think they draw both.
Draw both. We'll take the 2 then. We'll get 2 points there. They play Tottenham between you guys. Probably no points there. And they play Newcastle last day of the season. Possibly no points there. Give them a draw.
Let's go for a draw, right? Okay. Everton.
Everton play Man United. They're not winning that.
No.
They're playing Leicester. They're not winning that.
No.
They're playing Liverpool. They're not winning that.
I'd be inclined to maybe say I'm going to put Slack a 1 point against Leicester. I think they could get something in that.
Against Leicester? Yeah, we'll give. Okay, yeah, give them a 1. Give them 1 against Leicester. Yeah, they then play Liverpool. They're not winning that.
Chelsea.
They then play Chelsea. They're not winning that. They then play Leicester again. Slap them another point.
Yeah.
They then play Watford. They have to win that. They absolutely have to win that.
Well, let's give them the win.
Give them the win there. We'll give them a 3 there. They've then got Brentford. Again, that's going to be tough as well. And to be honest, yeah, maybe a draw. They then play Palace and Arsenal. And to be honest, I think they lose both of those.
I don't think they get anything there. So if I'm looking at Burnley, Burnley have got 10 points. You reckon Burnley are going to get 10 points? Let's have a look at their table. Burnley have only got 24 points all season. You reckon they're going to get another 10?
Yeah, but look at the teams that they're playing. They're playing Watford, Norwich, all the teams down that end of the table.
But they've already played them once.
And that's probably where their points have come. I mean, they've only got 24 points, but the majority of those points have come in this latter half of the season. Like, they've got better as the season's gone on.
Based on these predictions, Everton end the season on 31 points and Burnley end the season on 34.
What a game, yeah, 1 game, 1 win.
Hang on. Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, it's 4 points difference.
4 points difference.
Yeah.
Wait, 4 or 3? You said 34 and 31.
No, 31. But, hang on, fucking hell.
31 and 34 is 3 points.
Oh yeah, no, it's 4 points difference over the next mode of games.
Yeah.
Obviously, Everton point. Yeah. So your shout is Everton down, Burnley stay up.
I think so.
Does this mean you're buying me lunch then?
If Watford, no, it's going to be Burnley, Leeds, never Everton.
Honestly, I can't.
Leeds and Everton.
I tell you what. I don't think Leeds are out of this. Everyone's like saying Leeds are out of it, and I don't think they're out of it.
Well, they still need 4 points. If I've got, say, Burnley being on 34 and Everton being on 31, they need a point at least.
They've got such a tough run in as well. They've got Watford this weekend. Watford this weekend's huge. Leeds Watford is massive.
They go Watford, and they go Palace, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford. Yeah, they're not out of this.
No, they're not. Those 3 games, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, are huge. Yeah, I mean, I cannot call this. I'd love Leeds to go down.
It's one of the best relegation battles I've seen in a number of years. I normally don't give a shit about who goes down, and this has been really exciting to watch this one.
I'm kind of gutted Newcastle have clawed themselves out of it. I think, they've got their game in hand now as well, so they're theoretically could be on 32, 34 points. But yeah, I'd love Leeds to go down. I feel like they've hit a little bit of form though. They've got 2 wins and a draw in the last 3. Everton are just in all kinds of trouble. Burnley, it all depends on the next game now. Like for Burnley,
it's between those two, right? It's currently between Everton and Burnley, and
the next game's huge. The next game's huge for Burnley because if they win and Everton lose, which is what we predicted, their roles reverse and the whole psychology of it as well completely changes.
Yep.
Especially if Watford win their next game, then Everton are in 19th.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, that will be.
Well, it depends on goal difference.
It'll be goal difference, but they'll be even on points regardless. Yeah.
So it's kind of I think it's going to be huge. I mean, what a weekend of sport we got this weekend. Oh my God. Bloody hell. What is it? We've got Leeds Watford. That's a big game. We've got Burnley Norwich. Huge game. We've got Man City Liverpool. Probably the biggest game of the season. And then you've got, what is it? Isn't the Grand National this weekend, I think?
Yeah, and we've got the Masters starting today. Tiger Woods is back. Return of the King.
And we've got the Melbourne Grand Prix.
We've got the Grand Prix as well. Yeah, you're going to be up 6 a.m. watching that?
No. I'm going to record that bad boy, ignore all news, ignore my phone, and try and watch it in the morning.
I won't message you then.
You will. I know you will.
You're gonna I won't. I won't.
You're going to be that guy.
I care about sports too much to ruin them for other people, because if they ruin it for me, I'd actually murder them. So don't worry about that. They got no risk for that.
Who are you calling for? Who you predicting? Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. Oh, good question. I'd love to see Leclerc do it. I think the Ferrari's looking quick. Apparently, Mercedes are bringing a big upgrade package. So when Mercedes engineers get to work, that could really spice things up. But
I've gone for Leclerc in my fantasy. I've made him my mega driver.
Nice, good shout.
So triple points. One of the guys last week mega drove Verstappen, and obviously he won. So that was a very lucky call. Because if there wasn't that safety car, would have been
it would have been. Yeah, it would have been.
Anyway, back to the football.
Yeah, well, quick look at fixtures coming up. So you were just saying about Newcastle Wolves, huge game. Everton United's going to be huge. Watford Leeds is huge. Again, all of these have massive implications on relegation and
Villa Spurs. Huge game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right in the middle of the pack, but I'm sure it's one we'll focus on. It's the only 5:30 kickoff as well, actually. So that will be.
I'm at that game.
Oh, nice, very nice. You can shout profanity at all the Spurs players.
It's going to be depressing, mate. I've
seen one's from Josh.
I've seen us play Spurs about 5 times, something like that, and I don't think we've scored a goal.
Every time. Oh, good. Right. Well, you'll enjoy that one then. I mean, we haven't even spoken about the top of the table, but there's 1 point in it, and they're playing each other now.
I tell you what, I'd love to go back through these pods to the first one and when we were talking about it, and I can't remember whether we said Man City had it. I can't remember whether it was the 12-point gap, wasn't it? And I think we were like saying, "Have Man City done it? Is that it?" I think we were looking at it and we were like, "There's going to take a lot for it to change."
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. After this Sunday, it's basically it could be out of Man City's hands.
Yeah, could be Liverpool's to lose if they win. If Liverpool beat City, it could be Liverpool's to lose. It's at City.
I'm waiting for Liverpool to slip, right? I'm waiting for Liverpool to slip because they must do. They're not going to go the rest of the season without losing.
Their form's been unbelievable, but yeah, you can't. It's tough to say they'll just carry it on. They play City now. They then play City again in the FA Cup semi-finals next game. They've then got United, Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham, you guys, Southampton, Wolves, and then they finish the season away at United.
Interestingly for Liverpool, what do you think they'd rather win next Saturday or they'd rather win this Sunday? If you have,
I got to say they go for the league. I got to say they want the league. As a fan, would you rather an FA Cup win or a league?
Yeah, I suppose the league win. It's not like I'm saying, do you get Champions League football or do you win a cup?
Yeah, it's a league win, yeah.
I mean, I mean to see Villa win the league would just be insane. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's also not the final, is it? It's the semi-final as well against Man City, so nothing's guaranteed. So I suppose they would take Sunday, but yeah. I honestly, I feel like this is the most on the fence podcast ever. Can't work out who's going to get relegated. Can't work out who's going to win the league. I have no idea. Who would you rather win? Who would you rather win?
I'm controversial with it because I don't really care that City have spent a lot of money to get to where they've been. That doesn't bother me that much. I just hate Liverpool because I know a lot of Liverpool fans and they're all assholes and unbearable if they win. I don't know any City fans. I live in South London. There's no City fans down here, but I know some Liverpool fans, and when they win, they are the most unbearable fuckers on the planet.
I think what's interesting, right? I think earlier in the season, I would have gone, Man City deserve to win this league all day long because they were just miles better than everyone. I think the thing that's disappointing me is that I feel like to lose that position of 12 points clear, you almost don't deserve to win the league. Like I'm like, how can you be in such a commanding position and slip up so badly?
But it's really tough because we say they slip up badly. They've lost 3 games all season. Liverpool have only lost 2.
Yes, that's all it is, right? That's
slipping up so badly is 4 draws and 3 losses through 30 games.
Yeah,
you're right. Mental, isn't it?
You're right, but
you're dealing with fine margins. They did slip up. They had 12 points clear, and you're dealing with fine margins at this level.
Do you think this is it now for like the next 4 or 5 years? Man City, Liverpool.
I think it's going to be Man City, Liverpool for another couple of years. I think they both are tactically and squad-wise just above everyone. I think Chelsea will be in with a good shout, depending on what this consortium takeover is, because they always splash the cash. It's the spenders, right? Like Newcastle could be up there in 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
All they need to do is get Europe. If they get Europa League, they then start to get loads more cash coming in. They spend some more money and attract bigger players. Then they get Champions League, and kind of just will grow as they grow. But I mean, the big hitters for the last few seasons have been City and Liverpool, and it's tough to look elsewhere. The Salah contract is very interesting because apparently they've offered him kind of 400,000 a year, and there's still a lot of complications in that contract. And he says it's not about money, but they're offering him 400k a week. And
you got that. I mean, it's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, Salah's obviously massive for them, right? But they have softened the blow a little with Diaz.
Yeah, he looks good.
But yeah, I suppose because how old's Salah now? Or Salah, should I say? Sorry, Salah.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Salah is
29.
29, yeah.
He's approaching.
He's born in June, so he'll be 30. He's approaching it, but like it's one of those conversations, isn't it, where it's like he's a top 2 player in the league, probably not 2, and like what value do you put on that? He's kind of been the real life.
I suppose you've got to think, right? So the problem you have is that some team, I mean, Man City are different because I feel like Man City, their team's quite relatively youthful. They had Aguero, who was like a big player for them, but losing him hasn't been a huge. I mean, they haven't had a striker for like 2 seasons. You know, so it's not like they've lost that. If they lost someone like Kevin De Bruyne, it's a big loss because he's younger. He's younger as well, right? So he's still got longer to go. Whereas Liverpool have got to now be looking at it going, well, we need to start the transition next season because whoever's coming in to kind of replace that role is going to probably need 1 or 2 seasons to get going. So they're going to need to start doing that transition anyway. So arguably, I'd say that if they want to stay where they are and not have a dip, like a lot of other teams do, like your Chelsea's or your Man U or whatever, where they're rebuilding because they've lost key players through age or whatever it is. Yeah, Arsenal as well. Yeah, it's kind of like they're going to have to do it very smoothly.
Yeah,
and so bringing in
but
Diaz,
it's tough to do. It's tough to do that.
it
Smoothly.
is hard to do. But you kind of look at it and go, well, I know it's like, oh, he's such a big player, he's priceless, kind of thing. There's always a price. If a massive bid came in for Salah this summer,
do you think they're not entertaining it? Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree.
You take it because they need to start that rebuilding, and arguably
at what
next
point
season
do you
you could get
cash in on
crocked.
an
You
older
could get
player?
crocked.
I also have massive concerns over paying these guys who are approaching 30 loads of money and then seeing the production drop off. I mean, Arsenal had it with Ozil, they had it with Aubameyang. Like, it stung us a few times. Of you pay this guy, you're almost paying them for what they've done for you, as opposed to paying them for the years they're about
What
to
they're
give
going to
you.
do.
And I don't want to have someone on a 300, 400k a week contract who's not even getting in the team every week.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna blow your mind quickly because although Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's about 18 years old, he's actually older than Salah.
Fuck off.
He's 30 and he's turning 31 this year. Salah's turning 30 this year.
What?
He's a year
Hang
older
on,
than
what?
Salah. Yeah, De
I
Bruyne
thought he was like
27.
27.
No, 30. 28th of June 91.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I was
That's
completely on your side as well. I couldn't believe that De Bruyne was actually. I mean, the
Wow,
guy still
okay.
looks like he's about 23. So,
I mean, that's a big one. Yeah. So what do they do there?
but
I mean,
what do they do with him? Yeah.
De Bruyne has never been about like pace or anything, has he?
He's a Perlo. He drifts in the middle. He finds space and he pulls the strings of his
Whereas
pass.
Salah is a bit different.
He's a pacey
Salah's...
attacking winger. Yeah, so it is a tough one, and it's tough to have that level of athleticism when you start to reach that age as well. Like, you can't consistently play as the best player in the Premiership for 4, 5, 6 years when you start to become 31, 32, 33. So, no, it's a really interesting conversation, and I'm sure it's one that we'll have a chat about in the off season as well, when all of this contract talk is still going on. But cool. I think that's it. I think we covered everything. Anything you want to mention?
No. I think that's it. Yeah, all good. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And as always, give a thumbs up, sub, whatever, depending on whether you're listening to this on Spotify. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Google Podcasts as well. And obviously we're on YouTube. So if you're watching, thanks for watching. If you're listening, thanks for listening, and catch you next time.
That's it. We've been the Delusionals, home of the Deluded Football Chat.
Yeah, catch you in a bit.